identifying your priorities and seeing health and fitness or see going to the gym as so much more than just physical.
Going to the gym, getting consistent with your training, working on your nutrition. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be fucking doing it.
Motivation is a load of shit. It is not there when you need it the most, so do not rely on it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Coaching Society podcast. If you didn't tune into last week's podcast, our names are Russell and Michaela, and we are the co-founders of Coaching Society. And today we are doing a Q&A. We're getting juicy, which is super exciting.
Thank you to everyone who has asked us questions for today's episode. If you haven't checked out last week's episode just yet, go and check it out, and we talk about the birth of Coaching Society and how we created our business and how we come to be the people who we are today. So to start off each of these episodes from now on, now that we've done the kind of introduction episode last week, we're now going to do a bit of a piece of advice or a lesson that we have learned or that we've taught someone over the last week. And every single episode, we're going to start with this. We'll each do one so that hopefully all of you can take a bit of value out of what we're teaching.
But before we get into that, I must say something. And upon reflection, watching the podcast back from last week, I have identified my new toxic trait. And that is interrupting Russell every single second. So I'm going to work on this toxic trait this time. I'm going to try and keep or bring it down a notch and not interrupt you every single time. Oh my God, I didn't realize until I actually listened to the back and I was like, I think I want to cry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, that's me. I'm working on it.
It's only taken over our 4.5-year relationship, just recording a 40-minute podcast episode, for Michaela to realize this.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
That's okay. we got there. We made it work. So do you would you like to start with your bit of advice or lesson or whatever it is that you've kind of picked up this week that you want to talk to the audience about?
Yeah, absolutely. So my advice, I think it's going to be more of a lesson this week. And this lesson actually came from you. This week has been extremely challenging on so many different ways. And I think when you go through something that's really, really hard and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, Russ taught me this, but it's so important no matter the storm that you're in to look at the silver lining, because if you don't look at that silver lining or the good thing that's going to come from whatever's happened to you, you get so stuck in the storm and you don't see an out. So yeah, I think my lesson or my teaching today would definitely be that, because I think that's going to help a lot of people no matter what you're going through in your life.
Yeah, I think that can be correlated to so many people's struggles, so many people's lives, whether it is running a business and knowing that things aren't always going to be smooth sailings. There's going to be hiccups, but not looking at those hiccups thinking that they're roadblocks, thinking, okay, how many other elements of my business or my life is so incredible and so good. For example, like let's say if you had one bad thing happen to you for the week, it doesn't ruin your whole week. So look at everything else in that week around that one bad thing that's happened and realize there's a lot of good things that have occurred.
I think that a lot of things, it almost like it clouds your thoughts and how you perceive things and the way that you express gratitude, I think, which has been a really important lesson for me this week. And I'm going to carry it through in everything that I do in business, everything, my life, my relationships, which I obviously have you to thank. So thanks for us.
No, welcome, Sprite. Awesome. So my bit of advice was more so some advice actually that I gave to someone that I thought about through a conversation just on Instagram. Someone was chatting to us and they mentioned that they're following the keto diet. And a lot of people, probably us included, have, I guess, spoke badly on fad diets and diets like the keto diet, like low carb, all of these fad diets that you hear. But she was saying how the keto diet has changed her life in the last 6 years. She's lost 27 kilos, I think it was. She said her fertility is better, her mental health better, her clarity is better, her energy is better. So all of these positive effects that come from her following the keto diet. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that when you and I get a client on board, we're going to give someone
like keto or
we're not going to give someone the keto diet just because this has helped one person. But I think if something works for you, then you can then lean into that and see the benefits that you're getting from that. Ultimately, a lot of people do slate all of these fad diets because some people do promote these fad diets for fat loss. And a lot of people are like, okay, if you want to lose weight, you need to follow the keto diet, or you need to follow whatever approach it might be, intermittent fasting, whatever it is. The ultimate fact around that is all of these fad diets, when it comes to weight loss, is it's reducing the amount of food that you're consuming. And to lose body fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So ultimately, when it comes to people promoting these fad diets, that's why we give them kind of that slating when people are pushing it for fat loss rather than for actual health. And some people can benefit from it.
But if it's benefiting your health, like if you're living a better life, like if you are happy with the way that you are approaching your health and fitness and you see the positive ramifications it has on your life, then go for it. Like if you're happy, go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not this or that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I think, lean into it. And if it suits you, works for you, then by all means,
go for it, sis.
Absolutely. Love it. So that's our bits of advice for the week. Should we dive into Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it. I actually loved some of the questions that came through. So if you did ask us a question, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let's get stuck into it.
The good thing with Q&A is as well, like the people who ask these questions, there will be hundreds of other people who have that same question or can benefit from the response that we give. So
let's do it.
Let's go. First question. We've got 6 questions, by the way. We had like a lot of questions. We were going to do 10. Then we reflected on how much we spoke in our first episode. So
how much I kept interrupting.
Maybe we should just do about 5 or 6. So first question. How do you navigate running a business with your partner, and how do you separate the two?
Yeah. It's hard, but you get used to it, and Russ and I have come to terms with it. We love it. Like, it's our life. Our business is our life. Well, first things first, the way that Russ and I kind of navigate it is we have very different departments within the company. We work in very different roles that don't have many crossovers, if I'm being honest. For example, myself, I work in marketing, sales, and kind of the culture of our team. So that's what I take care of. And that's what I excel in. It's what I love. Whereas Russ is in like numbers and tech and shit that I hate.
All the stuff that absolutely scares the shit.
Yeah, I hate numbers.
I'm often doing the stuff behind the scenes. It's like creating all the automations, development of the app, development of all of our systems, setting up instructions for all of our staff to kind of follow to make sure they're all doing everything to the best of their ability. So that's what I kind of excel in. But Michaela doesn't like doing that stuff, but also doesn't do well at it.
And I think when you're working in a partnership as well, it's almost important to recognize the things that you're not good at and being okay with not being good at it, and then outsourcing it. In our dynamic, we are co-founders and we're also obviously romantic partners. So we can identify those for each other and then go into our different areas and then work on it. And then as a whole, joining that together, it makes a well-rounded service, which is kind of how we separate it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think within the actual business itself, like that doesn't differ depending on whether you're a business partner with another business partner that has no like actual romantic relationship, or whether it is you with your actual romantic partner running a business together. So that would work the same. But I think one thing that a lot of people try and do in business that I've seen, like a lot of other couples, is try and fully separate their business life and their personal life, and say like, oh, after 7 p.m. we can't talk about work, and after 6 p.m. we have to shut the laptop, and we can't talk about work when we're outside of the house, which I completely agree with if it is going to work for you. And if that works for you, fantastic. I definitely think everyone should try that. However, just to caveat that, Michaela and I, doesn't work for us.
We tried it.
It did
not work.
Yeah, we tried it, and we said like, let's, for example, we go for a walk with Haiti, our dog, every morning. And we decided, okay, that walk is going to be completely non-work related, no talking about work.
Business is off limits.
Yeah, if we talk about work, we're going to basically pull each other up on it. That walk in the morning is now our directors meeting every morning to talk solely about pretty much work, so we can set ourselves up for the day.
But it's because it works for us. Like we love what we do. We love our business. We've devoted our entire life to it. And if it makes you happy to talk about your business, if it makes you happy to talk about the projections of the business or areas that you can improve on or things that you want to implement within your business, do it.
Yeah,
The most important thing here as a couple is just making sure that you're both on the same page. For example, if I was like business, 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 all I want to talk about is business, and Russ is like, give me a goddamn break, you crazy woman, then it would cause cracks within our relationship, and this dynamic wouldn't work for us. But we have practiced open communication for our entire relationship now, that we're both on the same page and we both love it and we want to talk about it. So it's working for us. Just like that keto analogy. If it works for you, fantastic, do it. And that's what works for us.
Definitely. I think lean into it again, like utilize it to your power that you and your partner run a business together, because you are there going through the thick of it together. So a lot of people who don't run a business with their partner and they're like working 9 to 5s in separate jobs, we've never done it. So it's really hard for us to kind of resonate with that. But can you imagine like going home from work, coming home and then just being like, not talking about work, me having no idea what you really do for work, and like me hearing stories about you in the office with the girls and I don't even know who they are. Like that just is so foreign to us. But I think we utilize it to our advantage, that if you're going through a shit time, I'm going through a shit time, and we are there together to hold each other strong. But then when we've got a really positive time and something really good is happening, we can fucking ride that wave together.
It, yeah.
Yeah.
We love it. But as I said, it's not for everyone, but being okay with not being like, we're not allowed to talk about work after 6 p.m. It's okay. Like, It's not going to kill you. And if it does start creating cracks within your relationship, identify it, have a really open and honest conversation about it, and come up with a strategy to overcome that obstacle.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no one size fits all approach with running a business with your partner.
No.
And it's a interesting one as well, that it's not every day that it happens. Not everyone is running a business with their partner. So if you are, utilize it to your advantage.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Awesome.
Cool. Number 2, let's go. How do you stay so consistent? I've been at the gym for years now, and the slightest change in work or my life and gym is the first thing that gets put on the back burner.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have fallen victim to this too many times, particularly in the last 2 years of being like a startup business. It's always been like the gym for me, even though like I literally run an online health and fitness company, like the gym should be my life. I went through a season where it wasn't. And I think what I had to do with myself, and Russ and I were able to do this reflection together, was be like, all right, let's identify our number one priority. So for those listening, what I want you to do right now is sit there and think, what is my number one priority in life? And that will never change. It may be your kids. It may be your business. It may be your health. It may be, whatever it is. Identify that one thing for me. And then what I want you to now do is think about, how does going to the gym, exercising not only my body, but my mind, going to benefit that priority? Let's use the kids analogy, for example. If you're not going to the gym, and if you're not filling up your own cup, which is in turn not only just physical, like it's going to improve your energy levels, your tolerance, your patience in sometimes, then of course, it's going to start falling apart. You're going to start falling apart. So identify the gym as something that's actually going to benefit your priority, which for you might be your kids.
Yeah. And I think a personal lesson that we've definitely learned is that when we are training, when we are focusing on our nutrition, when we're exercising frequently, our productivity with work is far better. So even though we might be spending slightly less time working because we are prioritizing going to the gym and exercising, our productivity when we are working is far better. So we get more done in less time, meaning that the business moves forward even quicker than it was, rather than us not going to the gym. We end up then feeling shit about ourselves, and it becomes just a massive vicious cycle. So really trying to change those priorities and look at how the gym can help your main priority and then making it work?
I think it's just all it comes down to is just yes, identifying your priorities and seeing health and fitness or see going to the gym as so much more than just physical. And the minute that you see that, the minute you're like, all right, if that gets bumped down to my last priority, how can I bring it back up there to help with my first priority in life?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that we found personally recently that's really, really helped is finding a time of the day that works. So rather than looking at like priorities and the long term, let's think about now the short term, day to day. How can we make that consistent routine? So we used to pretty much for our whole relationship, actually, we've pretty much trained at between 10 and 12 in the morning. So we'd get up, we'd do a bit of work, and then we'd go to the gym at between 10 to 12, come back, and then work again in the afternoon. However, recently we've noticed that we were missing a lot of sessions because the bigger and bigger we've grown in business, the more people that Coaching Society is helping, the more headaches that there are.
The more fires we need to put out.
Yeah, we have to put out fires on a day-to-day basis, like every single day. No word of a
lie, every single day.
There is a fire that we have to put out. But we've decided now let's move our training sessions to the morning, not because we can't get them done during the day. Like we are fortunate and super fortunate that we can be quite flexible with our work, that we can work around going to the gym at what times we want to go. But we decided that we were missing gym sessions, trying to get them in at 10 or 12 in the morning because something would have happened that would be in our mind that we'd then go, nah, screw this, I'm not going to the gym today. I've got other shit that I need to be focusing on in the business. So we're now getting in there about 7:30 in the morning, getting that session done after going for a walk with Hades. And that means then that there's no fires that have happened yet at that time in the morning. We get that session in regardless of what happens through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And then we can stay consistent.
So I think that's a fantastic way to look at, in this particular case of this question, if work is kind of bumping your gym sessions or your fitness down to the end, how to navigate that.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Number 3.
We are flying through these.
Killing it. Please give some advice for those going into their first ever bulk coming out of a fat loss phase. I can start on this one. I think the easiest, simplest thing that you can do with this, you don't even need to change anything, is reframe the word bulk. So what we do with all of our clients at Coaching Society, predominantly being female, so I'm guessing that this question has come from a female because it's females who generally have that association with going into a build phase or a bulk phase as being like a scary thing.
Oh yeah.
Guys go into it like really, really quickly and easily. So change the word bulk to build. Okay, so rather than thinking of it as a bulk, if you think of it as going into a bulk phase, you'll probably think I'm going to gain body fat. And that's generally the association that a lot of people, especially females, have when they come out of their fat loss phase. So you want to try and just remove the word. That will change things massively.
Yeah.
When you talk about build, you talk about building muscle, building habits, building structures, building routines. Rather than bulk, if you think about the word bulk, that generally means that your body is going to get bigger when you've just come out of that phase where your mindset has been
quite fragile.
And reduce calories, increase activity to reduce the size of your body. You then think about bulking and bulking up the size of your body. You're then thinking that you're going to
so hard not to do.
Yeah, you're going to unwind all of that hard work that you put in.
I think it just comes down to reframing your language and being aware of how you approach situations or how you talk to yourself. Going as a female as well, the thought of me going into my first ever quote unquote bulk after my first ever fat loss phase, no wonder you're scared shitless. Like, no wonder. You've just worked, 12 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, to do the exact opposite. And if you're now saying, I'm going into my first bulk, it's going to terrify you. So reframing the language so that you can then almost like digest what's ahead of you a little bit better and make it as less of a mountain for you is going to be pivotal.
Yeah. And when it comes to a build phase as well, if you do it properly and you increase your calories slowly enough, you shouldn't actually go from a fat loss phase to a build phase. You should go through a reverse diet phase, potentially sit at maintenance for a few weeks, and then enter into the build phase. If you go from a fat loss phase, let's say your daily energy expenditure and your calories at baseline is 2,000. You're in a fat loss phase, you finish up at, 1,400 calories. You then go into a build straight away at 2,200. you're eating 800 calories a day extra, that's when you do it incorrectly. You gain body fat really, really quickly compared to a reverse diet.
And not to mention the ramifications that has on your metabolic health.
Oh, absolutely.
Like horrible.
Yeah. So if you do it too quickly, that's where then it gives you that negative relationship with food, gives you that negative relationship with a
Body
build
image.
phase, and you then run. You gain a bit of extra weight and you're like, nah, I'm never doing that ever again. Whereas if you have the proper help and go with the proper approach of a reverse diet, build food intake back up, maintain your level of leanness and your body fat percentage, get to that maintenance phase, then you can then enter into a build because you are ready then.
Yeah.
And that's where you can then start realizing the benefits of food. Food for you, if you have just been through a fat loss phase, has probably been to try and help you decrease your size, the size of your body, help you lose body fat, help you get leaner. And that's what you see food as when you are in a fat loss phase. Like, as much as people shouldn't, and I don't agree with that, that is what a lot of people see it as. Whereas when you go through that reverse diet, you go into a maintenance, you go into a build phase, and you sit in that build phase for a while, you can then start really utilizing food for fuel for your workouts to get strong and look at other areas of your life that food can really, really benefit you in.
I call it kind of like your key performance indicators, and that can be used obviously in business, but it can also be used in your training as well. So, for example, if you're going into your first ever build, having just completed your reverse diet, which, as we know, that's the bridge between a fat loss phase and a build. You should be doing that. If you're not, please do. If you're starting to lean into your key performance indicators in your training, as for example, you're lifting more weight, you have more energy, you're hitting PBs in the gym. Like, if you're leaning into that side of things and not being so fixated on your physique and your body and how you look, then it's going to make this journey that you are now about to embark on so much easier, because it's not going to be so mentally and emotionally taxing, because you're going to be seeing wins in different departments of your health and fitness.
Yeah, definitely. And those gains that you get, and when I say gains, I don't necessarily mean gains in muscle, but gains in strength, gains in energy. Those are all things that you can then take back into the next fat loss phase that you go into after you go through a build phase. Now, one big common mistake, which is not part of the question, but something that's just come to me when it comes to a build phase, a lot of people will go into a build phase for like 1 or 2 months. You need to be in a build phase for a long amount of time. So that is why it's so important to bridge the gap between your fat loss phase and your build phase with a reverse diet, so you can mentally prepare yourself for that build phase, because that build phase should, in my opinion, be minimum 6 months, if not 9 to 12 ideally. 12 months or more would be fantastic.
If you want to see the correct positive adaptations to your physique, yes.
Yeah. Like, you can't gain muscle in a 3-month build, or much muscle at all. You need to be in a build phase for a very, very long time to be able to build a substantial amount of muscle to get to that point where you are happy with that, the gains that you've made.
Yeah, and being okay with like it being a long process as well.
Yeah.
Like internalizing it that, yeah, I'm going into this build phase. It's probably going to be hard, and I'm probably going to be here for a little while, but I'm going to lean into the benefits that this has on my health, my life, my fitness, my everything, rather than letting the scale weight dictate you, or letting your clothes size or how you look dictate you and your life.
Yeah. And you should have mini diets in there, or
Like
dieting
diet
phases. Yeah, like dieting breaks basically, or maintenance phases, but I'm not going to go on that tangent.
That's a
because I'll be
whole
there.
nother topic.
Absolutely. So I hope that helps in terms of how to mentally prepare yourself for a build. Next question.
Number 4, 3, 6, 4, 3.
See why I do the numbers?
Fuck, I'm bad at numbers.
Number 4.
4. Where did I get 6 from?
There's 6
Anyway.
questions. We're not on the
Okay.
last one yet.
No, I think I have numerical dyslexia. Like,
No, you do. You don't have to think that. You do have that.
yeah. Okay, I do.
Okay, number 4. I really want to make a change, but I don't have the motivation to do so. Can you help me get motivated?
Yeah, I'm going to take this question because I freaking love this question. My answer might not be for everyone, but I think that it's important that you hear it. So the way that I approach this topic, the way that I help clients go through this, is what I call the pain analogy. Now, what you need to do is right now sit down and think, is the pain that I am experiencing right now from not making this change, whether it be pain in terms of being, having really poor body image. And when the girlfriends want to get a photo, you're like, oh my God, don't take a photo of me. That's going to end up on Instagram. It's going to end up who knows where, and I'm anxious. You need to say, right, is that pain that I'm experiencing greater or less than the pain I'm going to endure if I am to make this change? If the pain that you are experiencing now by not making this change that you need to make, then you're not in the right mindset. You need to be like, right, I'm experiencing a substantial amount of pain now. The pain of making a change is going to be a piece of piss. Like, it's going to be a breeze. So I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to make that change. Like going to the gym, getting consistent with your training, working on your nutrition. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be fucking doing it. The gym would have 6,000 people in there every single time you go in there, but it is hard. So choose your hard.
Mm-hmm.
Is your hard going to the gym? Like, is that harder than feeling the way you feel right now?
9 times out of 10, if you really want something bad enough, you know the answer to this. Like, you know the answer to this. And sometimes being aware of that, like self-awareness around this topic, which is why I'm so passionate on talking about this topic, will be your key to success, will be your key to embarking on this journey that you're about to embark on. So as a recap, is the pain that you're experiencing right now greater or less than the pain that you will be experiencing if you start looking after your health and fitness?
And I think on that topic as well, with motivation, like looking at your goals and what it means to you to get to where you want to be will get you motivated. Mm-hmm. But motivation will come and go. If you see people and you think that they're motivated all the time, you see us and you think we're motivated all the time.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely not. In any element, like whether it is training, nutrition, business, life, like motivation will always come and go, but you have to stay disciplined to that pain, to that goal, to that end destination that you want to get to. So anyone who is struggling for motivation and struggling to kind of think about whether they want to get started, I want you to think about 3 different scenarios right now. Now, your goal might be anything that you want. It might be, I want to lose 10 kilos. It might be, I've got a holiday coming up. Scenario number 1 is you achieve that goal. You lose that 10 kilos, you get to your holiday and you are feeling on top of the world from that goal. Then I want to flip it. I want you to think about scenario number 2. The position you are in right now, you need to lose 10 kilos or you want to lose 10 kilos. You've got that holiday coming up. Imagine that you don't make any change. And how is that going to feel? How's that going to feel when you've got your end goal date, whether it's 6 months' time, 12 months' time, and you have not made a single change? How are you going to feel then?
Take yourself to that time in your life. You're, getting changed into your bathers, you're going down to the beach, whatever it is. How do you feel right now? And feel that pain. Like, feel the pain of being like, I am so disappointed in myself that I didn't make the correct decision on what pain was going to be worse.
And scenario number 3, instead of thinking about where you are right now and being in the same position by the end goal date, whether it's the holiday, 6 months' time, 12 months' time, whatever it is, imagine if you do nothing right now and you go backwards. So instead of needing to lose 10 kilos, you then need to lose 15, 20 kilos. How are you going to feel then?
The mountain's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you're like, I can't even start.
Yeah. And all it will take you to get motivated is to take that first step. Take that first step, spend a couple of weeks on it. It is going to be fucking hard to spend that couple of weeks on your training, on your nutrition, whatever it might be, getting you to the direction you want to go. But as soon as you do 2 or 3 weeks, I promise you, if you give your all for 2 or 3 weeks, you will see gratification from that and you will see results. And as soon as you see results, then
that's where your motivation will come.
100%.
Motivation is a load of shit. It is not there when you need it the most. So do not rely on it. Yeah. For the love of God, do not rely on motivation.
Because you won't always be motivated. But when you are, go all in. Go absolutely ham. Like when you are motivated, you push harder in the gym, you eat better more consistently for a longer period of time. Like utilize that and get even better results and push fucking hard when you're motivated, and then dig deep on your why when you are lacking motivation, because that's where you need to rely on discipline, because motivation isn't there right now.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Cool. That was inspirational. Hey,
I love it.
Jeez.
We should write a book.
Yeah, no, I can't write. Okay, number 5. What is your go-to morning routine? I
Ah.
hate morning routines.
Yeah, right, Russ. You know, I'm going to let you off your leash. Go for it, doll.
Okay.
Take
So
this with a pinch of salt, please.
let's talk about what we do in the mornings. So what we do in the mornings, our alarm goes off at 5:30. We get up, have a shower.
We.
I don't. Yeah, you. I get up, have a shower. You don't get up. My shower is warm, not cold. Which a lot of people are preaching the ice baths and the cold showers in the morning. My warm shower is the best time of my day. It's where I get to stand there and think about my life. So I
Cold
get up,
showers aren't for you,
have a
are they,
warm
babe?
shower. Then we leave the house about 6 o'clock. Go for a walk with Haiti for about 45 minutes. Come back, eat some food, go to the gym. By 7:30, come back and we have our first team meeting Monday to Friday every day at 9:15. So that is effectively what we do before we start work
That's
at
our
9:15.
9 to 5 of our 9 to 5.
Yeah. So that's
Doesn't even make sense, but you know what I mean.
that's our morning routine. However, a lot of people are asking about all these morning routines, thinking that there's this magic routine that you can do that is all of a sudden going to help you lose body fat and it's going to help you be more successful in your business or whatever it might be. Now,
There's
I
this
am
magic
not.
routine or morning routine that you're going to adopt, and 6 months later, you're going to be a millionaire.
Oh, 100%. I'm by no means slating any aspect of a lot of the morning routines that a lot of people do.
I think
Do
it comes down to if it's working for you and if it's improving your life, and if you're happy, go for it, sis.
If you want to do an ice bath in the morning, go for it. There are so many positive benefits of an ice bath in the morning. If you want to read, meditate, journal, whatever it might be, that a lot of these kind of fantasy morning routines contain, but are they actually for you? Are you just doing it because someone else does it?
Because it
You
looks
should
cool on
be-
Instagram.
You should be doing it for the reasons that you want to do all of those different things. And is it going to benefit your goals? Like, is getting in the ice bath in the morning actually going to benefit your goals?
If it is, amazing. Get in that ice bath, honey. Enjoy
Fucking
it.
right.
Lean into it. Not for me, but maybe for you.
Yeah. So I think a morning routine, like if you have something to do, let's say, for example, I've been probably, I guess, not guilty of this, but I've done this. I've had periods of time where like work is our only focus and it's like, okay, we need to work. We are in a big push phase of the business. So I will get up at 5 a.m. and start work and do 3 hours work before 8 o'clock in the morning before every other fucker's got up. So
And that's okay.
that is like, okay, if you want to get up and get straight into what you've got to do, then do it. You don't have to have some fancy elaborate morning routine to be able to then get on track with your
I'm going to get up. I'm going to have an ice bath. I'm going to meditate and then journal and shove a crystal up my asshole. You know what I mean?
uncut. But like, yeah, to go back on that, like if anyone has got morning routines, like by all means go for it and love your morning routine. It looks great, but it's not for everyone. And I don't think people should be asking about other people's morning routines. I think they should be trying different elements of all of these things that people have been doing in the mornings.
What
and see
works best for
works
you?
for them. Yeah.
What's going to be the most sustainable for you? Because long-term success, whether that be in your health, in your fitness, in your business, in your relationships, no matter what it is, it comes from doing something that is sustainable. And for us, that is getting up at 5:30. I kind of roll out at literally.
5, probably almost 6 o'clock, I'd say. You're
Yeah.
up and out.
Yeah, I literally roll out of bed, roll into my activewear, and roll out the house. I'm not a morning person. I'm not an evening person either. I'm not sure if people have seen this meme, but I'm some permanently exhausted pigeon. That's me. Anyway, find something that works for you. Find something that's going to be sustainable, and that's going to be your key to success.
Nailed it. Last question. Number 6. How do I start a business like yours? I really want to start a business.
Don't do
No,
it. I'm kidding.
definitely do it.
Do it. The best thing we've ever done.
Yeah. I think first thing on this, I've got a couple of things here. First thing on this is don't start a business like ours. Start a business like yours. Like start a business that you want to start. Because our business, we've built it on what we want to do and what we want to achieve. If you want to start a business, don't model your business off of someone else's and copy everyone else.
Oh, yeah, because when it gets fucking hard, and it's going to get fucking hard, you're not going to survive. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it is tough. It is really freaking hard. And if your drive, if your passion, if your motivation is fucking old Billy Bob over here that runs whatever Billy Bob runs, then yeah, when it gets hard, fucking good luck to you, doll.
Definitely. I think if you try and emulate someone else's business and copy someone else's business, you don't know the fucking shit that they have been through to get to where they are right now. And
You got to go through the trenches.
They have that business. I'm not saying we have that business. We have a business that we have been through the fucking highs and lows over the last few years to get to where we are right now. So if you want our business, you have to go through those highs and lows and understand that you can't just have 250 clients all of a sudden sitting on your plate. You have to go through the highs and lows of hiring staff, of coaching people, of everything you need to do to get to where you want to get to.
I think I saw this quote the other day on Instagram, and I've never resonated with something so much in my life. And it goes, I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but it goes something like, if you're in business and you haven't found yourself in the thick of the night, head in hands, bawling your eyes out, saying, what the fuck do I do next? You haven't reached the epitome of entrepreneurial, of being an entrepreneur. Like, they haven't even scratched the surface. And until you have experienced that feeling of just complete, I don't know what to do, and you've gotten through it, like you've survived the worst, you're not going to make it in business. Like you have to go through some fucking shit times.
Yep, definitely. Now let's spin it. If you want to start a business, you fucking go for it. Like, as much as there are highs and lows, and there are lows, there are highs. Like, it is the best thing in the world.
The most rewarding thing ever.
It is the best thing in the world, like creating a life of your own dreams. So when I say go for it, I mean go for it. Like,
don't fuck around.
Everything into it. It's the biggest, most common mistake in business is people half-assing it, expecting them to have other people's business without doing the work that other people have done.
And not willing to go through those shit times.
Yeah. So absolutely put your all into it. Don't half-ass it. Don't try and do 10 hours a week on your business. Go all in and do 20, 30, 40 hours a week. Work 16, 18-hour days if you need to. Work all the weekends. Say no to the social events. But go all in and do what you can to make it work. Because if you do go all in and you put everything into it, you will learn the lessons that you need to learn to be able to make it work.
You will learn the lessons that you need to learn to become a successful business owner.
Yeah. And we're still trying. And understand that there is no such thing as, like, if you want to build a business like ours, trust me, like, no one's business is perfect and there is always room for improvement.
There may be like people that you follow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever that you see their life and it's like, looks amazing. Sunshine and rainbows. They have the most successful business. They never have headaches. Like, it is just great. It's fucking bullshit. Like, absolute bullshit. And I'm going to sit here right now and tell you that this week has probably been the most challenging week in our entire business. Like, it has stretched us to places that I've never been stretched before. And I'm probably going to cry, so I need to hold my shit together. But this is why we want to do this podcast, because it's exposing people who don't tell the truth and take you through the highs and lows of running a business, take you through the highs and lows of your health and fitness journey when it gets hard, when you have no motivation. Like, taking you through those things is so important to normalize that it's going to be hard, but people have made it through and you can do it as well.
Absolutely. And I think you can hear the emotion in Michaela's voice there. But I've got one question for you, Michaela. Would you change it for the world?
Not a fucking chance. And I didn't even need to think that. Not a fucking chance.
So, yes, it is tough, but it's fucking worth it. So if you are contemplating opening up your own business, starting whatever it is, and it's your passion, just absolutely go for it.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back and be willing to experience this emotion that you can probably hear in like Russ and I's voice, and embrace it, learn from it, and just keep on fucking keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
Yes, sissy.
Beautiful. That's all of our questions. So before Michaela cries too much, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much for all of your questions that you shot in for this week and for coming back for episode 2. Now, next week, we will be doing a bit of a deep dive on me. You'll be interviewing me on my journey in my life.
Yes. You guys are going to learn a little bit more about old Rusty Boy over here. He's 30 this year, so he has a lot of wisdom to give and probably some funny times to reflect back on, because He's an odd cat. He's an odd cat, that's for sure.
Not that odd. But thank you very much, everyone. And we will see you in the next one.
See you in the next episode. Bye.